Hello, welcome to Tuesday's lesson. Remember, this is our last week of online learning in this format, and you people will be coming into school on Fridays for the last couple of weeks of term, but we will continue to post work for you to do here in this channel. So on Monday you'll have work to do, a little bit of work to do each day, and then when you come into school on Friday we can go over it with you, you can ask questions, and we can sort out any confusions. I know I've been missing seeing you. Okay, let's get started in today's lesson. Okay folks, I think it's useful to have a reminder in our jotter like this. So could we put this in our notes jotter please? Just gradients, a reminder. And to help you draw it, I'll just focus on one part, the upper part first of all. So this line is 4 boxes along and it's horizontal. So that line's got a gradient of 0. Then the next line is 4 boxes along and 2 up. So that's a gradient of a half, because you can see it goes along up half a box for every one along. Then we've got the line that's got the gradient 1, and that of course is at 45 degrees, because for each box it's going along 1, up 1, along 1, up 1, and so on. The line with the gradient of 2 goes 2 along, but 4 up. And the gradient of 4 is steeper still, it goes 1 along, 4 up. So 4 up for every 1 box along. So that's the positive gradients. Remember, they slope up from left to right. Whereas in the second half of the diagram, a negative gradient sloping down from left to right being the way we normally read. So this one goes along 4 but down 2 to get negative a half. Then along 4, down 4 to get negative 1. Along only 2 but down 4 to get negative 2. And the last one, negative 4. So take your time and see if you can complete that diagram, and this will help you to remember what the different gradient numbers mean. Okay, we've got 10 blue lines in exercise 1, and I would like you to work out the gradient for each of these. Remember, gradient is up over along. You've got this in your notes. And sometimes it's a whole number, and sometimes it's a fraction, and sometimes it's a mixed number, and sometimes it's positive, and sometimes it's negative. And I think all these cases are in here. So work your way through these carefully, working out the gradient for each of these lines. Now, hopefully these are the answers that you've got here for exercise 1. You'll see, for example, number 2 was a whole number, number 1 was a fraction, number 3 was negative, number 9 was a negative mixed number, number 10 was a positive mixed number. There are all these possibilities there. And number 8 was at 45 degrees, so it's a gradient of 1. So pause here if you need more time to mark your work. Now I'd like to look at things in a slightly different way. How do you find the gradient if you're told the 2 points that the line connects? Well, obviously the best way to go about this is to actually draw the axis and plot the points. So here we are, this is the line that we are interested in. There we are, it's clearly going uphill, so it's going to have a positive gradient. And we need to know how many boxes along and how many boxes up. So there we are, it's going along 3 boxes. It's going up 7 boxes. So the gradient of that line is the number of boxes up divided by the number of boxes along. So it's going 7 boxes up and 3 boxes along. So the gradient of that line is 2 1/3. Okay, slightly steeper, slightly more than 2 boxes up for every 1 along, 2 and a wee bit boxes. Okay. So here in exercise 2, you need to draw an axis 10 in either direction and plot the points. So you'll probably best to draw 5 separate axes. Take your time and do just what I did there. Plot the points, join them up, count the boxes, and then work out the gradient. Okay, this will take you a wee while, so pause the video here. Now, I think these are the answers you should have got. The first one was 6 up and 3 along, so the gradient was 2. The next one, it was just 3/5. And then the last 3, they were all going downhill, so the up number was negative, giving you 3 negative gradients. Now, It wouldn't have surprised me if somebody thinking, oh, do we have to draw it? Okay, because it's quite time consuming. And some of you might have started wondering, could we just work it out from the numbers? And the answer is yes, that was an intelligent way to think about speeding the process up. So for the gradient, we need to know how many boxes up and how many boxes along. So in this example, it goes from 4 up to 10 up. So from 4 up to 10, it goes 6 up. And it goes from 2 along to 5 along. So it's gone 3 along. From 2 up to 5. So actually, yes, you can work this out. So the gradient for this is 6 up over 3 along. So it's got a gradient of 2. So yes, it is possible just from the coordinates to work it out. And that's what we'll work on to finish off this lesson, and we'll look at that in more detail in the next lesson. So if we've got this, it goes from 1, 7 to 3, 2. What happens? Well, we need to know how many up. And it goes from 7, oh, it's going down 5. Right, from 7 down to 2. It goes down 5, so that top number must be negative 5. And it goes along from 1 along to 3, so it's going along 2. So the answer to that one is minus 2.5. So you see, if you compare the x coordinates, you can find how far along it goes, that's the bottom number. And if you compare the y coordinates, you can see whether it's going up or down as you move from this number to this number, and that is the up number. So you can work out the gradient without having to go through drawing. So my final challenge to you today is, can you work out the gradient of these lines without drawing, just by writing the coordinates down and seeing how many up from y to y and how many along from the first x coordinate to the second x coordinate you are going. Okay, if you could work that out now, pause the video, take your time to write it down, because don't try and hold all the numbers in your memory. So write down how many up, how many along, and then work out the gradient. So I reckon these are the answers you should have. The first one was 8 up but only 4 along, so the gradient was 2. 5 and 8, that's just 5/8. 4/10, you can simplify the fraction. Here it's negative because it goes down 6 from the first y coordinate to the second y coordinate. And this one here was also negative. Okay folks, well done. You've just got the exit question to do, and that's your maths done for today. Well done. I'll see you tomorrow.